let's be honest, there's no secret. Every leader wants a high-performing team. But here's what you need to do. And you need to understand that it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. ECE teams face unique challenges: staffing shortages, burnout, constant changes, regulations, ratios. But listen, the strongest teams don't just survive these challenges, they actually thrive through them. How do they do that? By building and having a foundation of clear communication, strong teamwork, and real accountability. If you want a team that works together, that trusts each other, and stays engaged, you need a blueprint. So let's break it down. Here's the step-by-step framework for transforming your ECE team into a high-performing team. And I'm not just talking about an everyday kind of a team. I'm talking about your all-stars. You're going to start with step number 1, which is to set clear expectations. And here's why it matters. Confusion leads to inconsistency. And if your team doesn't know what's expected, they're going to struggle to meet the standard. They can't read your mind. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you're defining the roles and responsibilities, and make sure that you are outlining the non-negotiables. Everyone has to understand what success looks like, because clarity leads to confidence. After you've done that, make sure that communication is a two-way street. This is so important because a team that doesn't communicate well will always struggle. People will be bumping into each other and stepping over each other. But what you want to do is make sure you're not just talking at your team, that you're creating space for their voices. You want to have regular check-ins. You want to make sure you have an open door policy. Staff need to know that they can come talk to you. And then you need to have team meetings where everyone is being heard and you're creating a culture of trust. So that looks like starting meetings by asking, what's working? What do we need to adjust? And allowing your team members to build ownership and encourage problem solving. Then you want to foster teamwork and collaboration. This is critical because a group of individuals is not a team, but a team is a group that trusts and supports and challenges each other. Now, what this looks like is encouraging peer mentorship or pairing experienced staff with new hires, hosting team building activities, and facilitating opportunities for collaboration so that no one feels like they're alone in their work. Now, there was one director that I worked with that was struggling with division among her staff. After introducing peer mentorship, her teachers became more engaged, more confident, and more invested because they felt like they were part of a team and not just employees, not names on a roster, not numbers on a spreadsheet. The fourth thing you want to do is hold people accountable, but in a way that really matters. A lack of accountability creates frustration, both for leaders and for the team. And a lot of times we think people don't notice, but they absolutely know. And they're paying attention to what you're doing and what you're not doing. You have to understand that accountability isn't just about calling out mistakes. It's also about coaching people towards success. When somebody falls short, you want to approach it as a learning opportunity instead of just a reprimand. Saying, I noticed that this thing didn't happen. Let's talk about what got in the way and how we can adjust to move forward. Step 5, recognize and celebrate wins. People work harder when they feel seen and when they feel valued. Understand that recognition doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't even have to be expansive, but make sure that you're giving verbal praise, that you have handwritten notes, and small celebrations that make a huge impact. Recognition doesn't have to be expensive. You can have verbal praise and small celebrations that make a huge impact. The more you highlight the things that are working, the more your team will be able to replicate those behaviors. High-performing teams don't happen overnight. But with the right blueprint, you can build a team that communicates, that collaborates, and one that thrives together. Now, if you're ready to implement this framework and transform your team, visit me at www.drkeena.com and let's build a leadership strategy that works for you and your team. A great team starts with great leadership. So keep leading, keep growing, and keep building momentum. And most importantly, create a culture where your team can thrive.